The message buzzed through just as I was finalizing a proposal at my office in downtown San Diego. Hey, sweetheart, about Easter. Your dad and I are thinking of keeping it quiet this year. Just us, Rachel and her boys. You understand, right? You're always so busy anyway. I froze. Not surprised, just tired. I'm Jasmine Lee, and at 36, I had once again been gently shoved off the family calendar. It never gets easier. Apparently, building a global wellness startup made me too busy for holidays, but somehow, Rachel, my younger sister, with twin toddlers and a husband who forgets her birthday, was never too chaotic for their peaceful plans. I tapped a reply with calm fingers. Actually, I was thinking of trying something new this year. The response came fast. Wonderful, we didn't want to upset you. It's just easier with the kids. You know how things get. By things she meant me. I was the disruption, the extra. The one who didn't fit into their picture-perfect dysfunction. I set the phone down and clicked open my retreat ideas folder, a digital mood board I'd built for someday. One listing practically shimmered, a luxury eco-lodge on a private cove in New Zealand, complete with geothermal springs, organic cuisine, and no cell reception. For years I had postponed solo escapes, always showing up to bake, decorate, and bring gifts. Always the dependable one, while Rachel got to be the adored one. My phone lit up again. And Jazz, could you still send over your carrot cake bars for the boys? They always say Auntie Jasmine makes the best treats. I laughed, sharply, uninvited, but still expected to bake. The family mascot, just not worthy of a seat at the table. I opened my banking app. Between my startup's recent acquisition and years of frugality, my account looked more than ready. I flipped back to the Eco Lodge's website. The dates over Easter weekend were still available. My therapist's voice echoed in my head. You don't have to keep showing up where you're not welcome. You get to write your own tradition. So I clicked. Book now. The confirmation landed in my inbox as another message came through from Mom. Oh, and would you mind picking up that honey-glazed ham from Ramirez's like last year? Rachel says it's your thing. I smiled, closed the message, and finally turned off my phone. This Easter, I wouldn't be carving ham. I'd be kayaking under waterfalls, sleeping under stars, and reclaiming my peace. Alone, yes, but not lonely. Just free. I leaned back in my chair, a grin spreading across my face. For the first time in what felt like forever, I felt light, free. I opened my digital calendar and blocked off 3 full weeks, one before Easter, Easter week itself, and the week after. No meetings, no check-ins, just space. Then I did something I'd never allowed myself before. I set my work email to out of office and tapped my assistant's number. Natalie, remember that extended break we talked about? I asked, still smiling. Oh my God. Are you finally doing it? She gasped. I'm doing it, all of it. Yes, she practically squealed. Want me to slot your meetings for mid-April? Perfect. And Natalie, forward any family emails to me. I have a hunch they'll be entertaining. The next few days passed in a flurry of joy. I shopped like I was styling a magazine shoot. Breezy silk dresses, dramatic sunglasses, hand-woven sandals, and enough sun hats to last a month. I even booked a professional photographer in New Zealand to capture it all. If my family wanted peace and quiet without me, fine. I'd let them enjoy their Easter in utter silence. A week before Easter, the inevitable text arrived. Hey, Jasmine, Mom said you're not coming to Easter? Don't make this dramatic. The boys are excited to see you. It was from Rachel. I responded simply. No drama, just unavailable. Have a peaceful Easter. The emoji was intentional, Rachel replied almost instantly. Wait, what does that mean? Where are you going? I muted the thread. On the morning of my departure, I posted a single image to Instagram, my passport next to a first-class boarding pass, with the caption, Time for some peace and quiet. It was my first personal post in nearly a year. My feed typically curated for investor milestones and family event photos. The impact was immediate. By noon, my inbox and DMs were swarming. Mom, Dad, Rachel, even my cousin Laura. Where are you going? Why didn't you say something? For once, I wasn't answering. As stepping into seat 1A, flute of champagne in hand, en route to a private coastal sanctuary nestled between cliffs and seafoam. When I arrived, New Zealand exceeded every fantasy. My eco-villa perched above a secluded cove, with geothermal pools bubbling below and stars so bright it felt like a new galaxy. As I stepped barefoot onto my private deck, the waves sang peace into my bones. "Miss Lee," my butler Kaya greeted warmly, setting down a welcome platter of tropical fruits. "Your photographer will meet you here tomorrow at dawn. The light, magical." I smiled, picturing it, not those stiff, forced family Easter portraits, but images of me, strong, joyful, and finally seen. Living, not just invited, in charge. "Perfect," I said, sipping herbal tea as Kaya went over the itinerary. "All arranged," she replied with a smile. "Private sail along the fjords tomorrow, sunset dinner on the cliffs that evening, and your spa treatments are staggered throughout the week. Also, Chef Ihaya wonders if you'd like to join the private cooking session this afternoon. He's teaching traditional Maori dishes." Back in San Diego, I'd be elbows deep in pastel baskets and scouring town for an organic, honey-glazed ham. Instead, I was hand-selecting native ingredients and booking kayaking trips through glowworm caves. The contrast wasn't lost on me. I'd kept my phone on airplane mode since landing, but curiosity got the better of me. When I switched it back briefly, it buzzed with backed-up messages. "Mom, honey, where are you? The boys are asking about their Easter baskets." "Rachel, OMG, did you seriously leave the country? Mom's freaking out." "Dad, princess, this isn't like you. Call us." I responded with one photo. Me on the villa deck in a linen maxi dress, sipping from a coconut, ocean blurring into sky behind me. No caption, none needed. Rachel immediately FaceTimed 3 times. I declined each with a smile, then sent her a slow-motion clip of dolphins breaching off the rocks near the cove. "Rachel, wait, are you at one of those elite eco-resorts? How can you even afford that?" I could hear the envy beneath the text. Rachel had always assumed that my single, career-driven lifestyle was a consolation prize. She never stopped to consider that not having 3 kids and a debt-happy spouse meant I had savings and freedom. The next morning, the sky blushed pink as the photographer captured me doing sunrise yoga on the deck, floating breakfast trays, snorkeling with stingrays. Each post rolled out carefully across my feed. My quiet social media presence turned electric. Friends, living your best life. Colleagues, you've earned this. Old college roommate, where's my invite? But it was my mother's comments that struck deepest. "Mommy, Jasmine, please call us. Easter dinner won't be the same without you. We didn't mean to hurt you. The baskets you make? Your nephews are heartbroken." I responded with a photo from the cooking class, dusted in flour, laughing over a dish of kumara pudding. Caption: creating new traditions. Rachel's reply came sharp and fast. "Must be nice to be so selfish." I didn't respond in words. I sent a video of me kneeling on the beach, releasing baby sea turtles into the surf, part of the resort's conservation efforts. The selfish? No. This was self-worth. If you've ever been left out, overlooked, or told to stay quiet, hit subscribe. Because in the next chapter, they won't just regret excluding me. They'll wish they'd listened when I had nothing but love to give. Caption: finding peace in giving back. While my family back in San Diego was likely gathering around a Pinterest-worthy table for their peaceful Easter celebration, I was sipping passionfruit tea on a sandbank off the coast of the South Island, completely surrounded by turquoise water, seabirds, and silence. The chef had gone above and beyond. No overcooked ham or supermarket rolls in sight. My Easter meal included hand-caught crayfish grilled to perfection, artisanal flatbreads, honey-roasted kamara, and mango tartlets that looked like something from a Paris gallery. I snapped a photo, bare feet in the sand, champagne flute in hand, sun haloed around me. Caption: sometimes peace finds you in the places you never expected. Happy Easter. My phone lit up like a bonfire. Friends DMing resort names, colleagues cheering me on for finally taking a real break, distant relatives I hadn't heard from in years suddenly commenting, messaging, remembering I existed. But one response stood out. "Mom, we made a mistake. Please come home soon. We miss you." I clinked my glass against the warm air and watched the sunset fold into the sea. Go home? I was just beginning. This wasn't a break, it was a boundary. A quiet, elegant middle finger to years of being taken for granted. And the best part? Their peaceful little holiday was already unraveling in the face of what they saw online. And they hadn't even seen the half of it. The next 2 weeks became a masterclass in joyful defiance. Each day, I shared select moments from the trip. Not as revenge, but as revelation. A reminder of who I'd always been and how little they ever tried to see. Rachel's passive-aggressive, must be nice to be selfish comment lit a spark. So I signed up for a day at the Aoraki Coastal Conservation Initiative, helping local marine biologists with reef restoration and sea lion tracking. The photos of me in diving gear, arms outstretched toward the open sea, stirred a new round of attention. Even Kate, my cousin who once called me impossible to be around, commented, "Didn't know you cared about this kind of work. I'm impressed." I replied with a short video introducing 3 rescued sea lions by name, sharing their recovery stories with the care of someone who actually listens, something my family never did. The resort photographer captured more, me tutoring local students in conversational English, joining a beach cleanup with volunteers, and learning about sustainable living from a Maori elder. Each image, each caption, was a quiet counterpoint to the narrative they'd written about me, that I was too ambitious, too different, too much, and now too unavailable to ignore. "The kids barely touched their Easter baskets," said they weren't the same. "Your dad's lamb roast was overcooked. You know he never gets it right without your help." Ava had a meltdown during the egg hunt. You always knew how to calm her down. The messages kept coming. One by one, I read them while lounging in a hammock between 2 palms, a hibiscus in my hair and the scent of citrus oil lingering from my beachside massage. I didn't respond with words. I responded with photos, me snorkeling with manta rays, raising a glass on a private sunset sail, melting into a geothermal spa carved into a cliff. No explanations, just proof that I was no longer the one holding everyone else together. Then came the shift. Rachel posted a photo from their Easter dinner. The table was beautifully set, but the smiles were tight. The kids looked distracted. The caption read, "Family peace and quiet, but missing some noise today." I waited until morning in Otera, knowing the time zone difference meant they'd all be awake back home. And then I posted it. A cinematic montage of my entire escape. The hilltop villa, the conservation work, the luxury retreats, the laughing children I'd tutored, the reef dives, the firelit dinners, the soundtrack, gentle ocean waves and native bird song. Caption, "Found my peace in paradise. Sometimes, exclusion is the greatest gift of all. Thank you for the space." The response? Instant chaos. My phone pulsed with messages. "Dad, Princess, we made a terrible mistake. That place looks unreal." "Rachel, I can't believe you did all that while we were drowning in sugar-rushed kids and Mom's meltdowns." "Mom, why didn't you tell us you had access to that kind of luxury? We thought you were just working nonstop." The family group chat, silent all Easter, suddenly came alive. Cousins were tagging me, asking for resort details. Aunts I hadn't spoken to in a year asked if I could help them plan a wellness trip. Respect, curiosity, admiration, all the things I'd never received before, arrived in digital waves. On my final night in New Zealand, I hosted a private beach dinner. The chef prepared a blend of Maori and French cuisine, while local fire dancers spun flames across the shoreline. I wore a flowing white dress, barefoot under the stars, the ocean dark and endless behind me. The photo was perfection. Caption: Thank you for the space to create my own traditions. Best Easter gift I never asked for. This time, when Mom called, I answered. "Jasmine," she said, voice tight with emotion. "We were wrong. So wrong. We thought you didn't want family time. But what you've created, this is beautiful." "Yes," I said, watching the firelight flicker on the waves. "It is. And it only took being excluded to finally claim it." Silence. Then, gently, "Next Easter, would you consider helping us plan something like this, as a family?" I smiled, remembering their peaceful Easter photo. We'd see the stress, the chaos, the forced smiles. "Maybe," I replied to Mom softly. "But first, you all need to understand something. I'm not just the dependable daughter who makes Easter baskets and carves the roasts. I'm someone who can create beauty, joy, magic, on my own terms." "We see that now," she whispered. "We really do." As I folded my dresses into my suitcase, the breeze lifting the gauzy curtains of the villa one last time, a final message lit up my phone. From Rachel. "I get it now, sis. Sometimes the noise we need doesn't come from kids or chaos. Sometimes it's from someone who brings their own kind of peace. Next holiday is yours to plan. Show us your version of family." I set the phone down and took one more slow walk across the deck. The sunrise spilled gold over the water, warm and full of promise. They'd try to leave me out, and in doing so they handed me something better: perspective, clarity, and freedom. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't about confrontation or proving a point. It's about rising above, finding peace, and letting others feel the absence they once took for granted. My final post from New Zealand was simple: a quiet sunrise stretching over the Pacific. Caption: Thanks for the space to grow. Next family gathering will be on my terms. Paradise has room for everyone, if they're ready to appreciate it. The comments rolled in, but I didn't read them. I was already sketching plans for next Easter's gathering, this time not out of duty, but from vision. Because the best response to exclusion is creating something so breathtaking that being included becomes a privilege. And that's exactly what I did. If you've ever been left out, overlooked, or made to feel like your value only existed in what you could do for others, I hope my story gave you something to hold on to. I didn't plan this journey as a grand statement. I just knew I couldn't keep showing up for people who only saw me when it was convenient. And maybe, just maybe, you've felt that too. Drop a comment if you've ever had to choose peace over approval, if you've ever found strength not in shouting back, but in walking forward. I want to hear your story, your aha moment of choosing yourself. Because those stories matter. We matter. And if this resonated with you, hit subscribe. Not for the drama, but for the truth that lives in quiet strength. Because the more we tell stories like this, the more permission we give others to step into their own light. You don't need to be invited to be worthy. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is build a life so full of beauty and meaning that others can't help but notice what they tried to ignore. Here's to choosing peace and making it undeniable.